Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome to another Eternal News episode. So we got some more new spoilers to talk about that came in the last 2 days, and it took me a little bit to find the time to cover them, but now I'm here and we're gonna talk about them, so let's check them out. Alright, so first we have Aerial Battle. That's a decent one, but basically just a sideboard card. But given that we're gonna get a lot more competitive support and hence more sideboard gameplay, this is gonna be more relevant basically than it currently was, because I assume the official competitive support is gonna draw in a lot more people than third-party competitive support like the ETS, especially because official price support can raise the stakes and allow for higher cash pricing, creating a lot more incentive for the more sharky players. Alright, so yeah, dealing 5 damage to each unit with flying can be nice, but even as a sideboard card it's pretty fringe, so nothing too impressive here, if you ask me. Next we have Sack the City. Your units get Berserk, and so far there's still, I think, no explanation for what Berserk means, just a bunch of guesses. Sack the City lets you think there's some kind of like plundering, pillaging sort of thing implied here, so I don't know, maybe it has some resource type thing attached to it, but Berserk doesn't really scream drawing cards or looting or anything like that, so it's hard to imagine what Berserk is actually gonna be, so we'll just have to wait and see, but chances are that it's probably just not gonna be quite powerful enough to grant a keyword to all your units permanently for 5 power, since it only affects the units that are in play at the time, not units that come after, making it much worse than, say, a relic. And at the same time, you already need a bunch of units in play for this to be good, and often if you have a bunch of units in play, you're already in a winning position, making cards like this a lot of the time win more. But we'll have to see, maybe the effect is cool and powerful enough that it somehow is worth it, but my guess would be, even without knowing what Berserk does, no, since 5 power is a lot. Alright, next we have Long Live the Queen. Some people might be excited about this or find this cool. I think the most interesting thing is that Warp is not a Praxis only ability, which is a bit surprising, and then again not that surprising given that the keywords that seemed alliance specific in set 1 suddenly started popping up in the next set on other factions, so the same here basically. And yeah, Warp on a counter is probably even less useful than, more situational than Warp on other cards, and then negating an enemy spell in a game where this really only means spells, not relics, not weapons, not units, just one card type, and that only sees limited play in each deck. Means, yeah, this card is way too situational, and 4 power is a lot for this type of effect, even if it can be a 3-for-1 by warping it and drawing a card. I don't see any realistic scenario where I would want to put this anywhere near my deck or sideboard, really, so I think this card is really bad. Simply because of how expensive it is, and relative to how situational it is also. Okay. Next we have Silverwing Augmentor. That card pretty underwhelming if you ask me. We get a 7 power 3/3 flyer that on summon gives +5/+5, but only for this turn. So yeah, even in limited this seems pretty meh, and in constructed this is utterly unplayable, but even in limited I think I want my 7 drops to do a lot more than this, and imagine you have an empty board and you have this as your 7 drop. It's really embarrassing and really disappointing. So yeah, not a powerful card. We'll see if this is kind of a cycle and there's for others of these. But yeah, this one, quite the flop in both formats in my book. And last but not least, we finally know what Clan Tactic does, the new Transmute power card in Primal. And it's actually pretty nice. It's basically a lightning strike that deals 1 damage more, which is cool because it's a lot cheaper than, say, the monuments, which all by default cost 5, making them like more clunky. And this is actually a pretty solid spell that you get. Like, this seems like a great power card for control decks. Like Oro Control would love to play up to 4 of these, because this is a really nice way of dealing with a lot of things. It deals with like most weapons. It deals with a lot of units. Just all in all, very reasonable fast spell, and this is, I would say, about as good as the best monuments, which is mainly the Time Monument, and to some extent the Primal Monument. But yeah, really cool card. Let's hope the other spells that the other transmute powers generate are similarly good, then we get a great cycle of flood protection power cards. Alright, that's it again for this Eternal News episode. It was a pretty quick one because the cards were just not very impressive or interesting, but they can't all be winners, so it's fine. We'll have like 250 plus cards coming out, so there will be a fair share of flops among them, but there will also be plenty of cool, interesting, and even great cards, and we already saw some of those. So just stay tuned for more spoilers coming out, and I'll keep reviewing them for you guys, giving you my latest scoop on them. Alright, as usual, if you enjoyed this, please drop a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and turn on notifications to not miss out on future videos. And yeah, that's it with this Eternal News episode. I'm Manu S. I thank you for watching. See you next time.